Just let me know if you guys can see my screen. Boom. Should have switched over. So yeah, it looks like it did. Cool, cool, cool. So yeah, awesome. So when I'm finding my my niche or my training or whatnot, I use audience insights. This is where I start. This is where the heart of everything begins when you do research. And this is where we're going to start. So what I want you guys to do right here, I want a little bit of audience participation. What we're going to do is just throw a niche out there. It doesn't matter what it is, if it's your niche or not, but it doesn't matter. Just kind of give me a niche that I can do some research on, and I'll kind of break it down exactly how I do it. So yeah, just kind of like put a niche down there, and we'll go from that. And we'll see exactly what we can uncover and go from there. So boom, Barry says yes, yes. Hey, I can hear you. Cool, cool. Alrighty, so first one here says golf. That one sounds good. Boom. Okay, so first things first, what we're gonna do is I have like a little spreadsheet here that I actually use, like, and these are like kind of the main ones that I like to use and find. So I'll show that with you guys there. So first one that I seen there was golf, right? So what we'll do is put that there. We'll kind of just make that there. Red. Alright, so boom, we have the golf niche we're going to do. So typically when I go to look for my interest, this is like what I'm going to be looking for. Maybe live events that pertain to golf, any type of institutions like schools, like golfing schools that you might be able to target, any authors that may have written good books, you know, websites, books, writers, forums, songs, music artists, anything that has to do with golf, right? These are all interest type of things that you should be looking for when you begin your research. And what I do is I like to just we'll start off with golf as the heart one, and then we'll just go ahead and start listing interests here along with their affinity. Okay, so what I like to do is I'll come here to audience insights, and I'll come here to something called create ad. Now keep in mind, I'm going to be using a tool that it's a third-party tool. So this is one that I like to use, and it just really kind of streamlines this process. So once we go to create an ad, we're just going to select anyone here. We'll just go to boost your post. That's fine. And we'll just hit continue. And let this load up. Now once this loads up here, what I like to do is scroll down here to where it says detailed targeting. And in this case, because we're doing golf, that's exactly what we're going to do. So we'll start off with a really broad one, right? And we'll just hit golf. You can see that's a huge audience. 150 million people, so we'll just kind of go with that, right? So once we have that down, I have this little extension here, and we'll go ahead and just kind of use that here. We'll clear this here, and what this extension here, it's a Facebook interest explorer basically. So what you do is you start off with 1 or 2 or 3 interests that pertain to your niche, just kind of put them in there broadly, and then with this tool here, you're actually able to extract interests directly from Facebook's API. So this becomes really, really powerful. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how this works. In this case, there's 150. We won't set it that high just simply because we're just doing like a little quick training and overview of it. But I'll just kind of set it at 50, and we'll hit extract. So what this is going to do is it's going to go in Facebook's API, if you can see, and it literally goes down there and it finds every interest, in this case 50 that I've selected, that pertain to golf. So we'll just kind of let that up. Can you guys see this? Are you guys able to see this? Are you seeing how powerful this is right there, where it's literally extracting 50 interests. Now you could go deeper, you could go up to 150, and boom. So once it extracts those, so we have them there, we have 50. We'll just go ahead and hit copy. What I like to do, then I like to go to like another audience insights tab. So we'll come here to a blank one, and we'll just go ahead and paste it, right? Control V. And what this is going to do, we just pasted 50 interests that pertain to, in this case, golf. Okay. So what what the tool did was it went through Facebook's API and it pulled all these interests. You can see them all down here, right? There's 50 in this case that were closely related to or belong to the golf niche. So what I like to do is come here to Audience Insights and kind of go through this list and kind of clean it up. Because here's what happens when you find those interests, you'll kind of see some, as it goes broader and finding more interests that are related to it, it might go just a little too broad for you. So you just kind of want to go through this little list here and find ones that just might not be too much, like Nike. Although Nike does have golf products, we're not going to use it in this case because it's just going to be too broad. So we're just going to exit that, okay? So we just kind of go through it, scroll down, see what else we got. Tiger Woods, Titleist, U.S. Golf Association, Zach Johnson, and then tennis ended up coming. So, you know, tennis is one. So we'll just kind of exit out of that and we'll scroll back up. So as you can see here, just using those 50 that we use, we got rid of about 3 or 4, and we still have an audience of 10 to 15 million. Okay, are you guys able to see this? Let's just make sure that you guys are able to see this. Looks good, looks good. Awesome, awesome. Okay, yeah, so great. So yeah, as you can see, we have an audience of 10 to 15 million active people. Okay, so we can actually go to the beginning demographics and see. Now keep in mind, this is all of these interests combined. We're not going to use all of these interests. What we're doing is we're doing research. Okay, we're just kind of taking these, and eventually, you know, let's say we did have a pretty nice golf product. All these interests, we can eventually target each one of them in our scaling mode when we're adding more interests or adding more ad sets. But for the purpose of this video, we're just going to kind of run through this. So you can see with all of these interests, which there's probably like 47 there, 58% belong to men, 48% belong to women. You can kind of see the relationship status here, the education level. So all of this data is just collected from Facebook. Facebook has tons of data on all of these people. So we just kind of run through it and see exactly. These are the job titles and the industries. Yeah, Moto, I will. It will be. It's going to be recorded, so you see the replay. So basically, that's the job title and whatnot. So I like to go to page likes and kind of see exactly what's going on. Now, this is page likes based on all of these interests combined. So you're not going to want to do them. You're going to want to kind of test these out each individually and see exactly what's going on. So we'll just kind of start with the first one. We'll copy that one, come here to this Audience Insights here, and we'll just kind of cross-reference. So we'll paste it, Ashnet Company, and you can see 90% of this interest is men, okay, and then 10% belongs to women, okay. Then page likes, we could go to page likes and see exactly what's going on, right? We can see that with this interest here, these are the top pages, the top 10 pages like pertaining to that. So the Open, US Open Championship, Golf Digest, Global Week. So you just kind of look here and see these are more stuff that pertain to it. And these here are probably all targetable as well. I like to come down to the page likes and check out the affinities and see which one is high. So you can see these high affinities. So if you can even find more interest here that you can copy, so FootJoy, that might be one that's also, see, FootJoy is targetable as well. So we can actually find more interest to target there. So once I kind of go here, we're kind of looking here up and down at the page likes and seeing what we may be able to target later on. I like to come here to activity. Now activity is pretty powerful because it's actually one of the most overlooked tabs, and I don't know why. So with activity, it actually shows them like the frequency of certain actions that they take while they're on Facebook. So this is lifetime, they've liked 54 pages. This is pertaining all to, you know, 18 to all that pertain to this Ashnet Company. So you can see here that lifetime they've liked 54 pages. In the last 30 days they've made about 15 comments. That's about one every other day. They've liked about 33 posts. They've shared, right? They're not doing too much sharing, only 4 posts shared in the last 30 days. But look at ads. Ads clicked 30, right? So in the last 30 days, they've clicked 30 ads. So that's like an ad a day. So that's one of the most powerful ones there, because this is what we run. We run ads to Facebook, right? So we want to know how often this audience is clicking on an ad. So at 30, that's about 1 a day when you average it out in the last 30 days. So on average, they'll see an ad and they'll click it 1 time. okay, a day. So that's pretty powerful. The higher the number, the better, right? So 30 is good. 25 on up is a great number to deal with. But remember this, the higher the number, the better for to deal with. But remember this, the higher the number, the better, because they're clicking on the ad. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're buying, but they're clicking on the ad, right? So then we could go to the household section and kind of see what kind of household income and see the ownership and do a little bit more. Remember, this is just all data that Facebook has that's available to us, and we can look at it. Another one I like to look at is purchase. So once we go to purchase, you can kind of see where they fall in, right? So online purchases. Now, keep in mind, this is third-party data, so it's not all the data. It's not 100% accurate, but based on what the data has that Facebook has, on the data that they've purchased or they have acquired, this is what they have. So on average, see like 44%, it's like low, right? So it's not really too high, but nonetheless, I mean, you may be able to test it, right? You always want to test interest and see exactly what's going on. So you can see purchase behavior. They're obviously, this is the golf niche, so sports and outdoors is number 1, followed by business and kids and so on and so forth. So that's just basically, one. This is just like one little part. So I would take this here, copy that. So when we went to page likes and we actually looked for this company, Ashnik company, let's see if their affinity was even available. I didn't even see that there. So let's just kind of look. Yeah, they're not even in the top 20. So that's just kind of weird. But they have like all their affinities, everything else is high. So we would just kind of come here, and I would save this. I would save this and definitely like test it, right? You have to test it. But this is just kind of basic research that you would do. And then literally I would go down to the next one, right? And go down to the next one and go down to the next one. And just kind of go back and forth and seeing exactly where the good, where the so-called good interests are. But at the end of the day, you will have to just kind of test. Let's see. I see a bunch of comments and stuff coming in, so I'll kind of run through them. I mean, if you guys are having any other questions, go ahead and just drop them down in the comment box, and I'll see what's going on. But I just want to run through these here. There's pugs. Amanda says, can you repeat what it's called? Yeah, I'll have, it's called Facebook Interest Explorer. I'll actually give you guys, let's kind of exit this. See some questions coming in. Are you guys finding value from this? Super powerful. Will this be over once it's completed? For sure, hopefully I will. That's powerful. Awesome. Darren says that's powerful. Edmund says hopefully it will. I'm at work and can't watch it now. Mailman problems. Yeah, it will be available like on a replay because it's just going live. So then it will actually it'll save it to the group. So you'll have that. So Brittany says, can you save that Excel sheet to the group? Yeah, for sure. I'll download it and then have it so you guys can check it out. Awesome, friend. Francisco says, Domi, powerful, Muhammad. Yeah, tons of value, like always. Awesome. So yeah, this is just the basic, exactly of how I do it. Powerful. Yep, tons of value. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Glad you enjoyed that. Thanks for the info. Much appreciated. Thank you. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, if you guys like that tool, you can actually go to a site called that's fbxfind.us, and you can go right there. There's the further tool, fbxfind.us. It's pretty cool, man. It's an amazing tool. I really like it. Okay, what's everybody say? Thanks for the info. You're welcome. Doreen says, when you start testing your target audience, what amount of people should they amount to? Should you also start with narrowing your audiences or test prior to combining? At the end of the day, it goes down to testing, right? You really need to kind of look and see. A small audience doesn't necessarily like just automatically just disqualify the audience, right? Even though an audience is small, like 50 or 60 or 60,000, you got to think maybe that those people that are in that audience are really targeted towards it, right? You can actually it'll be so targeted that the interest is just so small. So I would definitely like split test it, like take that one interest and just kind of test it towards like a PPE, right? Because the affinity, if interest is like at 60,000, it's going to probably be pretty high affinity, right? More times than none. So I would definitely just kind of single test that one interest and see exactly what's going on. Brady says, is this free? No, the tool isn't free. It's like 67 bucks. It saves you a load of time. Like literally, you see, we pulled 50 interest from the golf niche in like 2 seconds, right? And I mean that works with any niche at all. And we can do it over and over again. But yeah, it's not free. It's like 67 bucks. It's available now if you just go to the link. Robert says, do you shoot for a specific amount of target audience? No, once again, they just kind of like bounces back to that last question that we had. Barry Tibble says, what about the magazine targeting you speak about? Do you cross that targeting with the targeting terms you just showed us? Yeah, so with magazine, so once you find your interests, we can jump on it once again. Boom. So once you find your interests, like we'll have like a list of them, and we'll find magazines that pertain to it. Because usually like a magazine, so let's take like Golf Magazine for instance, right? Like if you're subscribed to a magazine and you're paying a monthly or a yearly subscription, you're invested in that, right? So a magazine is a great interest to target, as well as like associations. Like if you have to pay a yearly association or a club due or something like that, those are awesome to target. So yeah, we can like take Golf Magazine for example and come back to Audience Insights. Scroll back up, we'll exit this company one and put Golf Magazine in there. Okay, so we'll kind of see it. So even with Golf Magazine, look at that, almost 1 million on that one interest. So to me that's powerful right there. That's for one, and they're almost all men, so we can just kind of check out all men, right? See their activity, right? 32 ads. That's decent there. It's over 25. Purchase. It's not exactly as high it is. When you look at the purchase behavior, number one is actually kids products. But you can actually break that down, right? So go back to the demographics and see where your highest one is, right? So it looks like 25 to 34 seems to be the highest, and it's still that's great to go after too, like 250,000, $250,000, and you could break this down as well. Golf.com, Sports Illustrated, everything seems to be pertaining to it. Go back to the purchase, or excuse me, household. 32 ads. So yeah, I mean magazines are always going to be good ones to target. Duran says thanks. Dan says, when you create an ad, do you stack all of the interest at once, or do you use the narrow audience option and split interest in multiple levels? So I do both, right? So I like to single test the ad interest when I'm beginning, right, and kind of test them individually. Once I'm able to test them individually, then I can measure, right? They'll be measured at that point. You can see exactly which ones performed for you and which ones didn't, and you can turn on and off based on that single interest. And then once you kind of get a good measure at which ones are working, then you can stack those up and then throw them in like a website conversion ad and optimize for view content, add to cart, purchase, etc. Once you know which winning interests are working. Robert says, what amount of purchases do you look for from an audience? In regards to what? It says, are you there specific audience insights you look for? What amount of purchases do you look for from an audience? There's not really like a specific amount of purchases that I look for, because I know at the that data is just kind of like third party obtained. It's not necessarily all the data, so there's not really one that I look for in specific. I just kind of look at it to measure and gauge like if they are purchases online or not, but I don't look for like a minimum number. There's not like a number that I would just not go for. So yeah, if there's not any more questions.